And we were just talking here a few minutes ago, you said that you're a recommit. Tell me what being a recommitted thing to be.
Basically, I got out, got into more trouble, I came back.
So, take me all the way back. When did you first start getting into trouble? Did it start in your neighborhood? Can you even remember when you first started getting into trouble?
Not really. It started like at school, like in elementary, really just fighting a lot. And then, like more than stealing, like real young for real.
So fighting in elementary school. I always hear about the fights in middle school and high school, but I don't hear about the fights in elementary that much.
Yeah, I started fighting in elementary.
Were you the one starting the fights? Or?
Most of the time.
So tell me what you remember. Like, how old were you? What started it? What makes you want to fight when you're that young?
I just always stayed in trouble. If it wasn't for fighting, it was for something else. But most of the time, it was for fighting.
Was somebody prompting you to fight?
I started 99% of the time it'd be me starting it over nothing. I mostly started all of it.
Do you feel like you were a bullier?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just did. I just didn't think about it, just do it. I got used to doing it, so I used to do that here.
So usually we hear about kids being bullied, and they tell us what it's like to be bullied. So what's it like to be the bullier? What do you do? You just start?
I just pick on people, really. I did. I don't know more, but basically just make fun of people, hit them, all kind of stuff like that. For no reason.
For some reason, you just pick out somebody and.
Basically.
Would it be somebody that would be like from your neighborhood, or that you?
No, most of the time I don't know. It'd be white people most of the time. It's just the truth.
So where did you grow up?
Evansville.
And was your neighborhood a mix of white and black, or was it?
Mostly blacks.
And what was it like? Was it gang
the
violence?
hood, yeah, gangs. That's basically the normal for. Well, that was my normal. I don't know.
So did you live in the same neighborhood kind of your whole life?
Yeah, I still ain't moved right now.
You still haven't moved?
Nah.
So if I didn't know anything about your neighborhood in Evansville, paint a picture for me. If I were to drive in, what does it look like? What's it like?
People hanging out on the corners. Probably some little kids tearing something up.
Is it, would some people consider it a scary place?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a lot of gangs are in my neighborhood. Crime. The stuff that ain't normal to a lot of people, but it's normal to me, so.
So it's just something you always.
Yeah.
Gun violence?
Yeah.
What else?
Drugs, prostitution, a lot of weird stuff.
Did you realize kind of from early on that it was a neighborhood that you could get in trouble in?
Yeah, but it was normal.
It was what?
Normal. It was everyday life, like, so it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Were you ever afraid?
No, because I always had my friends who I was running with, and we was doing basically the same thing everybody else was doing, so.
Would you consider yourself sort of a leader in your neighborhood as far as people
around people my age, probably, but yes and no, because I follow and do certain stuff, but then certain people my age look up to me because I did a lot of stuff, been a lot of places, so.
Were you influenced by anybody in your neighborhood that act the way you did, or tell me about that?
Everybody who older than you want to be like them. So the drug dealers, they getting money, so you want to get money, and all that. That's Just like people younger than me now look up to me, because I was doing the same thing. I was looking up to people.
Did you look up to them because was money the main thing?
Yeah, and respect.
Was there, like one particular person that you really thought, I want to be like him, and here's why?
Yeah, a couple of them, like two. It was OGs.
What were they like?
Had everything for real. Like to come from the hood and then be able to move out the hood or still have everybody respect you in the hood. So it's basically.
So where did they move to?
Like not the suburbs, but out of the hood to better neighborhoods, and still come back to the hood though.
So did they come back to the hood to show off?
Basically.
But did you feel like the only way you were going to be able to accomplish that was by doing something illegal, selling drugs, or?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you could get there by going to school?
I ain't never, ever liked school. Ever.
Not even when you were little?
Ever.
Why? Do you know?
I honestly can't say why me and school never clicked. I just don't like being around. I don't like waking up in the morning. I don't like doing work. I don't like being told to do. I don't like none of that.
Did you have anybody at home, a mom or a dad, who was telling you, get up, go to school, do your work?
Yes and no. Sometimes I did. Because, like, my dad, when I was living with him, he was more of a strict person. Like, he wanted me to go to school and all that. And then I got tired of that, so I moved with my grandma. And my grandma, that's basically I can do anything I want to, so I just basically dropped out in, like, 8th grade.
Dropped out of school in
Yeah.
8th grade. So you talked about living with your dad. So were your mom and dad divorced? Or
Yeah, they were no longer together.
was there ever a time when you lived with both parents? Or? No. Was your mom in the picture at all?
She ain't now though. She was like when I was like 8. But I had lived with my dad from the time I was like born till I say 10 or 11. Then I would stay with my mom. Then I would stay with my grandma.
Why were you bounced around? Do you know?
Cause I ain't like where I was for real. Like, I don't like rules. And my dad had rules, so I ain't like that. Then my mom, like, she would be so flimsy. One day she'd have rules, and then one day she'd let me do what I want to. So I ain't like that. I went to my grandma. Cause she just let me. Cause really, there's nothing she could do.
So did you just sort of run wild when you lived with your grandma?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty about that at all?
Yeah.
Who do you feel like was the best influence on you?
Now that I'm older, I see it was my dad. But we don't speak no more.
Why?
I don't know. We just don't. He went his way, I went my way.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
My older brother, he's 25. Right now he's in the Air Force, but like I don't know what he's doing right now. I got younger sisters. They still live with my dad and they doing good.
It's interesting that all of you ended up with your dad and not your mom. So many times it's the opposite.
Yeah, we all with my dad. And then I ain't like it though. They all like it, but I don't like it.
Can you pinpoint where sort of this defiant attitude came from, where you didn't like rules and you didn't like school, or is there something that caused it?
Since I remember, I never liked to listen.
Did you ever have a teacher who tried to?
Yeah, I got a lot of teachers here. Every school I went to, I had a teacher that tried to work with me because they seen I was just so, I don't know what you to call. They seen I was so defiant. They always try to work with me, but I just never really wanted it.
What about were any of your friends?
They're the same way for real.
All your friends were the same way?
I got good friends, but quit hanging with them, cause they ain't like I am.
So you quit hanging with the good friends? Does that bother you now? Do you now, as you're getting older, do you start to see, maybe I should have stuck with the good friends, maybe I should have...
I don't think about it like that. It happened. Like, I can't go back and change it, so. And the people who were my friends then, doing bad stuff, are still my friends to this day, so.
Was there ever a time when you were, did it start out like as status offenses, like truancy, or can you tell me about?
It really started out with battery.
Well, it started out with battery.
Battery, then theft, then auto thefts and burglaries and possession.
So you didn't mess around with the little stuff. You didn't get caught for underage drinking or
Run away, none of
skipping
that.
school, running away, none of that.
Mm-mm.
You just went right to battery. Did you feel you had an anger problem, or
Yeah.
do you know why?
I now it's more under control, but if something makes me mad, I'm gonna really go get mad.
So what landed you here?
This time?
Let's kind of rewind a little and tell me about, if you could name off for me all the offenses you committed that you got arrested for.
This time. The last time was this time.
As many as you can remember.
Possession of a firearm without a permit, possession of crack cocaine, burglary, 2 burglaries, auto theft, batteries. That's it.
And which one landed you here?
This time, the auto theft and the possession of a firearm.
And since you're a recommit, you were here before, one other time before.
Yeah.
When you left that time, did you say, I'm never coming back here again?
Yeah.
Could you believe you came back here again?
No, because when I got out, my head was on straight, and I was focused. And then, like, the freedom, like, I forgot about this place. That's what messed me up. Got to doing the same things.
Did you start hanging with a crowd that you think had...
Not immediately, but eventually.
See, it seems almost impossible when you get out of a place like this, if you're going right back.
Yes.
So kind of talk to me about that.
I mean, it's possible, but it's gonna be hard. People gonna find out you out, and they gonna call. Yeah, you can't. What you gonna say to people that think they're your friends? It's like if you call you one of your friends and they just tell you, "Well, we ain't cool no more." You can't really just do that. So there ain't no easy way of just saying that. So basically, you just give in.
So you can only say no to them so many times before you kind of have to.
Yeah.
And once you start hanging with them again.
It's gonna all just fall back in play.
Was there any gang involvement at all?
Yeah.
What gang?
Wag block. I got a tattoo on. It's Wag block.
W-A-G-G
AGG. BLOCK.
block. W-A-G-G block. I haven't heard of that.
Wag, yeah.
So, when you got out of here the first time, did you then just go right back to the gang affiliation?
Nah. It took like 4 or 5 months, but eventually I did though.
How do you stop being in a gang? I always hear about folding the flag.
Yeah, it's like this shit, like there's always different ways of doing everything. Like certain gangs or cliques, whatever you want to call them, got flags and this and that, but some of them don't. Like this one, if I really honestly wanted to get out of my clique or whatever, I just honestly tell them, and deep in my heart I think that they would understand where I'm coming from, because I'm getting older. We all getting older, so they'll understand. So it's really like a want. If I want to get out, I can.
Do you guys try and recruit younger kids? It always seems like the younger kids are the ones who most...
No. We just grew up together. Basically, it's like 40 of us. And we just grew up together.
Would you say you were always considered the troublemaker?
Everybody in Wag Block is the exact same as me. We all do the same thing.
Do you think that people in your community are afraid of you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that feeling?
Not necessarily, but to an extent, yeah.
do you think that kind of being labeled as a troublemaker, bad boy, does that sort of just lead you to keep doing what you're doing because you almost have a reputation to keep up?
To an extent. Like, say we was somewhere and everybody knows who we are. So say we was somewhere and something happened and somebody wanted to fight or somebody wanted to shoot and I didn't want to, they gonna look at me like, what's wrong type of stuff. So, to an extent.
So was it a normal thing for you to carry around a gun?
Yeah.
Did you, well, some kids tell us they do it because it's a protection thing, and other kids say it just makes them feel good.
Both. Because half the time, all right, like say a new clique comes out, they gonna have to get known by beefing with somebody. And most of the time, since we the biggest, most known clique in Evansville, it's gonna be us. We the target most of the time. So to get known, they gonna shoot at us or fight us or jump us, something. So gotta keep it.
How does that feel to be the kind of the biggest, baddest clique in Evansville?
At first, like we've been going like for around 10 years, 9, 10 years. So it's just normal now. Like everybody already know now. But at first, when I was first got in my clique, it was like more fun. Now it's just normal. We getting older now, so.
Yeah, you're 18 now.
Yeah, that was when I was like 14, 13. It was fun.
And even though you're here in DOC and you're at Pendleton, you're not in adult prison now.
Right.
Do you think you're ever going to wind up in adult prison?
If I don't change my way, that's almost a fact. If I can change, then no. But if I can't, then yeah.
Do you want to change?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, cause like I'm only 18. I've been here twice. Last time I did close to 3 years here.
3 years?
Close to it. So I didn't spend enough time locked up.
Where do you think you sort of learned how to commit crimes?
The streets. The streets teach you everything you need to know for real.
How is that? Somebody just said, hey, come
Watching
follow
it,
us?
watching, being around it, being surrounded by that 24/7, you're gonna eventually just pick up certain things. You don't know how you got it, you just know how to do it.
But some people, I think, have no clue, like,
Yeah.
and just the thought of committing a crime gives them a panic attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get caught. You know,
Nah.
did you ever fear getting caught?
Yeah, this time. But I wouldn't call it fear. I just didn't want to come back here. But I wasn't scared enough to not do it, so.
How do you think the cops treated you in your neighborhood? I mean, did they have it out for you, or you?
Yeah, they know about WAG Block too.
They what?
They know about WAG Block, so. They look at us and they see us and they stop us and all kind of crazy stuff.
Well, and Evansville isn't exactly, Gary.
Right.
Explain, if somebody's not been to Evansville, kind of tell me what Evansville is like and what being in a clique like WAG Block is for a place like Evansville.
It's basically if in any city, if you get a group of kids that doing something that what they do, then it's gonna be trouble. We just do us.
Do you like? Is there some kind of high you get off of when you're in the midst of either auto theft or burglary, or what goes through your mind in the midst?
Nah, it all started over. Anything I do, I don't know about anybody else, but anything I do, it got to be a profit to it. So that's why I do mine. It has a profit to it.
Do you ever justify why you do what you do? I did it because this, or
No, basically, because I did it because I did it. Yeah, I did it because I wanted to. That's how I look at everything. I ain't ever forced to do nothing, so. But most of the time, but if I do something 9 times out of 10, it's because I wanted some money.
Did you have a certain position in the gang that you're in?
Everybody equal.
Everybody's equal. Is that unusual?
Not, it probably is. I don't know, but not to us. We knew we was in elementary school together, 2nd and 3rd grade. All of us just grew up together.
Now you say you're one of the older members. Is that right?
Yes, and now there's a couple kids older than me. 19, like 27 is our oldest, but there ain't 27, 26, 24.
So basically, from the 20s on down.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there aren't any 30-year-olds.
And my
And so,
brothers, so basically.
When you're involved in gang activity, do you commit these crimes as a group?
Sometimes.
Do you talk about it in advance? You say, hey, you're going to go do this, I'm going to go do this.
Sometimes. Sometimes you do stuff by yourself, sometimes you do it with them. Sometimes it's a group thing, sometimes it's not.
And did you have rival gangs
Yeah.
in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Tell me about the rival gangs. How was that all?
Savage Life, MOB. That was basically, back in the day, that was really MOB.
What's MOB stand?
Money over at the B word, so. They was like, it was like anytime on site, it really started as fighting, and then it got to older, we stopped fighting and got to shooting. But now there's no more of them. We ran them off, really.
You ran them off?
Yeah.
Did you ever take guns into school, or did it ever
Yeah.
spill over into school?
Yeah, that's basically where it started up, because I told you we was like in elementary school when it started, but we was all cool, and then it was summertime, and then we came back to school, and half of them had went to another school, so we started beefing with them, and it went from 6-year-olds just competing in basketball and calling each other names to 18 and 19-year-olds shooting each other, the same kids. So.
Does that seem crazy to you?
Yeah, but that's normal, but that's how it is. So I don't know why it's like that, but it is.
So it really kind of started
That's
in
cool.
school.
That's cool, because they went to another school on this, and
Did anybody in the school system try and?
they thought it was just kids being kids, like competing. It started competing in basketball games and football games, and then as we got older, fighting, then eventually shooting.
So basically, your school day was a lot of your school day fighting.
Yeah.
Threatening.
In middle school, it's 6th and 7th graders against 8th graders. And if we catch a 8th grader in the 6th and 7th grade hallway, we fight, jumping. And the same thing around, so the other way around.
Can you think of any particular fight that really stands out in your mind, or was
So many, and I fight all the time.
Can you think of any memorable moment where it was really brutal, or have you had any have you seen any friends shot, killed?
One day, this wasn't at school, but this is this is in 06. So I was, I'd say 14, 13, somewhere around there. But we was going on the south. That's where MOB be at. We on the south too, but 2 different parts of the south. We was over there, and somebody ran up to the car and hit my partner in the head with a brick. He just passed out, and we took off, and they got to shooting at us. And then we came back and got to shooting at them.
You ever think about the possibility that you could end up dying someday by gunfire? Or?
I don't like thinking about stuff like that.
One question, go back a little bit to, seconds. The issue of respect. Maybe you could give us an example of why respect is so important, and then what happens when somebody doesn't show proper respect, and what's likely to happen. How about that?
Tell me about the whole issue.
Why respect is so important. Basically, you can't have nobody just dogging you ever. That's like, I'm on release. Today I go for my release. And so that's a whole different case to go home. But if somebody just disrespect me to the fullest, then nobody can't nobody be seen as soft. You feel me? Then nobody be seen as soft. So respect is a big thing, just to be respected.
So that's a big thing in your neighborhood?
Yeah, that's a big thing to me everywhere.
Do you remember when that whole thing started about you better respect me, or?
Nah, it's always been like that. Just as, like, if you call somebody the B word or somebody call you the B word, you should be expecting to fight. Or somebody talking crazy to you or talking bad about anything, you should be expecting some retaliation.
Why is it you just can't turn around and walk away?
Nah, I can never do that.
Would you be seen as
soft? Like you said about the reputation, is basically part of that. And so, if somebody says something about my clique, or then we shoot.
So it doesn't even necessarily have to be about you.
Yeah, my clique is part of me. Like, even if I dropped out today, it'll still always be part of me because I got it tattooed on me forever. So it's always been part of me. And the people in it, all of them is my brothers. We get into it, we might fight, but right after that, we're gonna shake up and we always gonna be brothers.
So you guys would fight, but you wouldn't shoot at each other?
Nah. If there was beef inside the clique, then we gonna either fight or just squash it, or then fight, then squash it. It's either fight, squash it, fight and squash it, but it ain't never gonna take it to that extent.
Do you see the same thing in the older guys too, or do
Yeah.
they the same thing? So it doesn't matter if you're 28 or 18.
Yeah. They taught us how to do it.
They taught you.
Yeah.
And have you taught others
Yeah.
how to do it? So it's just a cycle.
Basically.
Do you feel guilty about that at all?
Nah. I mean, not really.
It's just out there.
Yes. No.
Just kind of a follow-up question to that one, sort of, how do you, maybe you can describe how, you say you're showing other people what to do when someone is disrespectful. Maybe you give a couple more examples of, okay, how do I'm new to your neighborhood, how do I know what's okay and what's not okay? How do I know I'm not supposed to say anything about my clique or your clique, I know I'm not supposed to call anybody the B word, but how do I know what's okay and what's not okay? I guess is my question.
You can answer to me. I said you can answer to me, you don't have to answer to me. Okay, I come into your neighborhood, like you said. I'm new. And you guys know I'm new.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to take me aside and say, here's what you need to know?
No. We don't mess with no outsiders. None. And no outsiders.
But what if I come to you and I say, I'm new to this neighborhood, what's the right thing to do? What are you going to
Probably gonna shoot you off until you get on somewhere. Probably beat you up. Probably.
So no outsiders. So do mainly the same people still live in your neighborhood who've been there forever? There's not a lot, because a lot of kids move a lot.
Yeah.
No.
All right, how about this? I move into your neighborhood and I say I want to join your gang.
No.
No new game.
No, there ain't no white people in it. So there ain't no white people.
All right, so let's say I'm trying to make this as easy as I can.
Hey,
Right?
that's what you said.
Pretend I'm a new black kid in your neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And I'm 15 and I'm bad. And I want to be in a gang.
You gotta prove yourself.
So I gotta prove myself.
Yeah. You gotta go on a couple missions. Just loyalty is everything for real. Before everything is loyalty. So you gotta prove yourself, and then you gotta prove that you ain't scared to do nothing.
And then maybe you guys will let me in.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah.
And then you'll tell me what I need to know about being respectful.
Yeah.
What if I'm bigger than all you guys? I come with a really bad reputation from another neighborhood. Does that matter? Would you kind of automatically respect me a little more?
No.
No?